Jessica, you've studied a great deal of theater, studying at Juilliard, everything. How excited were you when you got this role?
Oh my gosh, I can't even begin to let anyone know how excited I was when I got this part. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It absolutely changed my life. It changed my career. It changed, yeah, it changed everything about me, I feel like. It was a great, I've met Terrence Malick, who I feel like will be one of the greatest teachers I'll ever know. And I got to act with Sean Penn and Brad Pitt and play this character that I think is a beautiful, beautiful woman. And yeah, it changed everything.
This movie has a great deal of imagery in it. It's you know, artsy cinema at its best.
Yeah.
How would you describe it to moviegoers?
Well, I don't think it's a film you go to and you want to just turn off. I don't think it's a film that, like, if you had a hard day at work and you just, you know, want to get your bucket of popcorn and your Slurpee and watch a movie. It's not that. It's the kind of film that you really need to be prepared for when you go into it, and kind of like open your mind and open your heart. And know that it's more of an experience. It's like, for me, it's like a visual poem. It's like a philosophy lesson, and it's a film that asks more questions than it answers. So hopefully it'll beg the question of what kind of human being do you want to be, and from then on maybe affect how you go about your life.
With such an unconventional script, how did you prepare for the role?
It was tough preparing for the role because, you know, when I first read it, I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to play this embodiment of grace? She's so perfect, and I'm so not perfect. But I had to kind of ground her in reality. So the first things I did was I had to cultivate like the tiny bit of grace that I could find in me and expand on it. So I studied a lot of paintings of the Madonna in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I listened to a lot of Lauren Bacall films from like the earlier beginning of her career, because she has a very straightforward, slow way of speaking. I read a lot about cultivating joy, and I went on a spiritual retreat and meditated a lot. Stuff like that. Anything that was creating stillness and kind of a surrender, I guess, within me for the character.
And you got to work with Brad, like you said. Brad and Sean Penn, two huge iconic actors. What was that like for you?
Wow. Well, when I first heard I was going to work with Brad Pitt, that was a bit of a shock, because I never really thought, you know, living in the Upper West Side at Juilliard, in a little studio theater, working on my scenes in my like black turtlenecks and black pants, never did I ever really imagine I'd be playing Brad Pitt's wife in a movie. So that was a bit of a shock, and it was really, really great, because when he showed up the very first day, he couldn't have been more warm and welcoming to me. He was so so good at like helping me forget that he was Brad Pitt, you know, and he really was about the work and the story that we wanted to tell, and it was inspiring to be around that, because he was open to being spontaneous and emotional in the scenes, and he really, I think, lifted my performance.
You've got a lot of things coming up in the future. What do you tell us about them? What do you have planned?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've got, after this, I've got The Help, which opens August 12th. I play Celia Foote, and which was really fun. I got to gain a lot of weight and hang out in Sugar Ditch, Tennessee for a while. That was a lot of fun. So that opens August 12th. I've got The Debt, where Helen Mirren and I play the same character, Rachel Singer. It's about a Mossad agent who goes back to 1965 East Berlin to capture a war criminal, and a mistake is made that 30 years later she has to atone for, Helen Mirren. That opens August 30th. Then I'm in Take Shelter, which won the Grand Prix at Critics Week at Cannes with Michael Shannon, and that, I believe, is October 7th. And then a couple more things.
Look at you, big stuff. Love
I know,
it.
a lot of stuff.
We're looking forward to seeing more from you. So you were awesome in the movie.
Oh, thank you.